Oh man, no, my nose is so congested. Last two, I believe last two. Let's just call this girl AB. I I wouldn't necessarily call her my philosophy buddy or podcast buddy, but we did have some very, let's just say, oh, I'm blanking out. I'm blanking out. I caught myself blanking out there. Well, it's pretty recent, but a lot of stuff happened. Okay, but that aside, this girl allowed me to explore on the more emotional side of things. Aside from processing philosophical, practical. I was basically absorbing those concepts and ideas and advices and principles like a robot. I get information, I store them in my brain, and I carry them out or tailor my approaches and actions in life with those in mind. It's like okay, input, process, output, like a computer, like a robot, yeah. But as I've learned recently, there's more to life than just being a plain old simple guy who has a goal and would do anything to reach that goal. Okay, perseverance and determination is important, but living life is also just as important. You have to have personality. More than that, experience, and experience builds personality. And this girl has taught me that. I've She introduced me to a world that I've never really touched upon before. Like the way I described it is that my life was monochrome because before she came into my Homer world, and even though she painted that world blue sometimes, at least she gave it color. Sometimes it felt like was it LSD that gave you hallucinations? That yeah, I'm trying to keep my cool. I guess our discussions were more of yeah, my deepest aspirations and ambitions. I think I first spilled them to this girl. Perhaps I have spilled them to people like AM and LA, perhaps some to MC, but not to the extent in which I have shared them to this person. At least not in the way, not as elaborate and complete as I would had shared to my other philosophical buddies. No, and I was. This is probably like the only philosophical buddy or friend. I don't even know if philosophical is the word to use here. Basically, people I just talk to and have insightful conversations with. Okay, but let's still keep the title the same. I didn't choose her to listen to me. She just did, and that meant a lot. Okay, I don't want to swerve the video's topic here, but yeah, our conversations and discussions range from, I'm pretty sure the deepest one has had to do with dreams and ambitions and what we wanted to do in life, like direction, similar to how I talked with MC back then. But now, since things have been settled and as we grow up, our priorities kind of changed, and yeah, she gave me more logic to my already logical brain. And what's ironic is that she did it through emotional connection. It's kind of funny, where I thought I was logical, but she gave me more insights that made me even more logical, and I didn't even thought it was logical at first. But looking back, yeah, she did make some logical points about life, the way we do things. Basically, she didn't think like a philosopher, and I think as a philosopher, that's what a philosopher needs. To think not like a philosopher, but because when we're so obsessed and used to questioning and philosophizing and giving more meaning to things, we often forget how to keep things simple. I guess she grounded me to some extent, like, with a mix of LL and AM's more practical advice and bits of wisdom. I was really narrowing down on the intricacies of life. Okay, my energy is kind of dipping down now because I've been recording for like 30 minutes. But yeah, I might make a video on that thing soon. I don't know if you're watching this, AB. I'm not gonna talk about it. Next! JD. Yeah, most recent guy. This guy is like me before AB came into my life, and it's like it's like a reflection. Like, oh my goodness, I actually, this guy reminds me of the robotic logic Homer type of way. Well, he's not as dead inside as I was back then, because yes, I was in the grind, I was doing what I liked, but I had a sense of purpose and I was willing to do anything to get that. But I was missing out on everything else, and to some extent I see it with this guy. He's willing to miss out because he knows what he has to do. He's willing to sacrifice experiences, fun times, connections with friends, and meaningful relationships in order to get what he wants. And what he wants is more of not experience, but he wants to prove something to himself. I want to prove something to the world, and we kind of relate. We're the same, but not really. So, our discussions, like this guy, like YL, is man. This guy soul read me. This guy read me like a book, and YL also read me like a book to some extent. Oops. And our discussions, at least recently, I only met this guy like a month ago. But so far he's like the only one that I actually had a very, a deeper level of conversation with, and like by the sunset or something, just like talk about life, like what we want to do, and we came to the conclusion that we actually have no idea what we're doing, and if what we're doing right now is the right thing to do. Who really gets to say that, like, direction. He's also into this podcast guy named Andrew Huberman, and he's into personalities, and he's very, very, very knowledgeable. I actually want to know more about the way he sees the world and his understanding of people, because man, this guy out of nowhere just says, yeah, that guy's an ISTP. Oh, that girl's clearly an INFJ. And most of the time, I mean, he guessed mine very correctly, like very accurately rather, by literally just observing me for like 3 days. He saw my bag open, and he was able to deduce this about me. And he saw my bag was pretty heavy and filled with stuff. He was able to deduce something from that. And I think, what else? There was also that one time I asked for advice, and that I was looking for a mentor, because I mentioned to him that I'm looking for a mentor, and that also gave him an idea of my personality. I don't know how he did it. It's actually pretty amazing. I want to be able to do that someday, because I'm pretty sure this is a dangerous skill, to be able to read people. I've made a thread about this on Twitter back then, and I guess our conversations are more not really philosophical. Once again, I do want to introduce him to philosophical concepts, because thanks to LA, the abbreviations are confusing me. I'm sorry, but his is more on a neuroscience, medical. Is that the word medical? Yeah, medical science related field type of approach to things. Science backed information. And yeah, this guy's so detached from the world. He can vibe. He can be fun if he wanted to. I can see that. He's slowly showing his true colors, per se. I can't really jump into assumptions, but it's too early to tell. But yeah, so far he's very, he's not really good with words, but when he doesn't talk a lot, but when he does talk, it's usually of quality. He's a man of a few words. He saves his words. He really thinks. He gives very good insights about certain things. He gives good advice, actually. Like, even though he cannot understand certain things that I say, like, more or less he gives the things he say has substance. I'm not feeling well today, guys. So I guess that's all. That's everybody. So what? GM, LF, MC, AM, LA, LL, AB, and JD. Like, this is like a dedication to them. I want to thank you all for being a huge part of my life. Yeah, like a huge factor of who I am right now is attributed to these people, like the way they see the world, their mindsets, their philosophies, their beliefs, their principles, their opinions on certain things. They have shaped me into the person that I am today, like who I am today. Like they're in my top 10, and like top 10 most influential people who have really resonated with me. And I like how my first crush and my first crush isn't even here, isn't even in this list. Cause like, man, yeah, these people really matter a lot to me. Like in terms of what they have given me and contributed into my character development and arcs. Yes, cause these people were there for me when I needed them. Yeah, were there. Yeah, they were there. And some of them are still here for me when I need them. So, yeah. I know this is pretty a low quality video. I'm pretty sure not much of you will watch all 3 videos. But if you are watching this and you're one of the people with the abbreviations here, I really 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 appreciate your existence. I hope you live a long life and successful life. I really appreciate sharing ideas with you and being able to exchange and engage in very deep level conversations, relatively deep conversations as opposed to the people around us, because you type of you're you you type of people, you don't really see our types of people all over the place. I have to actually put effort into looking to the perfect candidates to label them as my podcast body or philosophy body, and be prepared to spill my entire backstory and arc and principles to this person. So I know I'm not really I shouldn't play, not really God, but yeah, I have a criteria for people who's worthy enough to listen. And if you're one of those people in this list or I have mentioned, then congrats, I guess. I know I shouldn't really be saying this, but yeah, you matter a lot to me because, well, I wouldn't be here without you. So I guess this is more of a gratitude type of video. So yeah, thank you. Here's a fist bump. There, I am PewDiePie now. Just chair. So that's all. I might make a new version of this when I improve videography and speaking skills, especially articulation. But yeah, peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.